All right, class, so today we're going to finish working on the guided practice problems for week 5. We're going to finish working on the guided practice problems from week 5. We did the second page first. We did this page first, okay? And now we are working on that first page, doing number 2, okay? Working on that first page, and we're going to do number 2. After we complete this today, we're going to go ahead and submit this assignment today, okay? Because we'll be finished with it. All right. Remember, as you have questions about whatever you have questions about, please don't hesitate to ask questions. Please do not hesitate to ask questions. If I move too fast for you, do not hesitate to let me know that I'm moving too fast for you. Okay? All right, here. It says find the y-intercept, that's where the line or the function crosses the y-axis, okay, in functions f and g. Okay, so this is function f because we see f of x right here, which is the same as saying y, but this is my function f, and this is my g of x function, this line. So I have a table and I have a graph or a line. So I'm going to find the y-intercept of both. When I'm finding the y-intercept of the table, that means I'm looking for where x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 right here. Okay, so the y value for that is going to be my y-intercept. This is going to be my y-intercept. So my y-intercept for fx, or the function f, is going to be a -3. It's going to be a -3. So anytime you have a table, you always look for, in the table, you're going to look for where x is equal to 0. Wherever you see x is equal to 0, that y value is going to be my y-intercept. That y value is going to be my y-intercept. So my y-intercept for the table is -3. Okay. Let's look at the y-intercept for G, this line. The y-intercept for the line or the graph is going to be where this line crosses the y-axis. The line crosses the y-axis right here. So this number on the y-axis is my y-intercept. This number is -1. So my y-intercept, which is b, is going to equal to -1. So my y-intercept is going to be -1. Okay? Remember, if I'm moving too fast for you, let me know. You got a question, baby? Go ahead. I don't have That's okay. You can write it in Cami. All right, here we go. Now we're looking at, let me make sure that I focus this a little bit better. Now we're looking at comparing them. This has a y-intercept of -3, and the graph has a y-intercept of -1. The y-intercept -1 is greater than the y-intercept of -3. So the y-intercept of the line or graph or g of x, the y-intercept of, let's say g of x, okay, which is the graph, is greater. Let's put greater than f of x, because sometimes you'll see it written this way. So let's go ahead and write it that way. And I'll pause to give you a chance to write, okay? All right, guys, I do need you to keep this in mind. I'm going to say it once more. For your y-intercept, you're always going to look to see which number is greater or smaller when you're comparing, okay? For slope, if these were the numbers for slope, the slope that would be steeper would be the 3, even though 3 is smaller. This just means that the negative part would be that if m is equal to 3, I'll write it over here. If m is equal to -3 and then you have m is equal to a -1, the negative sign just means that the line is going down. Okay, the line is going down. So this slope would be greater because it's going down faster than this slope. But for Y-intercept, you always going to look to see which number is greater or smaller. You look at the actual number. Slope is a little bit different. And I'll erase this, okay? All right, let's look at the last one. It says Connor and Pilar are in a rock climb or in a rock climbing club. They are climbing down the canyon wall. Connor starts from a cliff that is 200 feet above the canyon floor and climbs down at an average speed of 10 feet per minute. Pilar climbs down the canyon wall as shown in the table. Okay, so let's look at this. We have the table, which describes what Pilar is doing in climbing. This is the height that she's climbing and how many minutes it took her to climb that height. Okay, she's moving. And for Connor, it tells you in this paragraph, it says Connor starts at 200 feet. So if he starts at 200 feet, that means B, your starting amount is 200. And we're talking about Connor. I'm going to write this out to the side. Okay, it says that he starts from the cliff at 200 feet. So this is his starting point. Then his speed, look at what it says. His average speed is 10 feet per minute. He's moving. So M is the rate. And since it says 10, his average speed is 10 feet per minute. M is 10. Okay. And he is climbing down 10 feet. So that's going to be negative. Move this over some, y'all. Okay. He's climbing down. They both are climbing down. As you can see in the table, these numbers are going down. So the slope here is also a negative number. And slope here is also negative because he's climbing down. The equation for Connor, remember we write our linear equations in y equals mx plus b, that slope-intercept form. That's going to be m is negative 10x. You see how I did that? And b is going to be a positive 200. That's his starting amount. Okay? So now we are going to find the initial value, which they gave us, and the rate of change, which they also gave us for Connor. The initial value, or the starting amount again, is this 200 feet. Remember, if I'm moving too fast for you, please make sure you use the raise your hand tool or unmute yourself and let me know. And guys in here, y'all can just tell me, okay? Your rate of change for Connor, he's going climbing down at a speed of about 10 feet per minute. So our rate is going to be negative 10. Now we're looking at Pilar. The starting amount, remember when we're looking for the starting amount at the table, we're trying to find where x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 right here. So the starting amount is going to be whatever the y value is when x is equal to 0. So Pilar starts at her cliff. She starts climbing down at this many feet, 242. So she's up higher. 242 feet, 242 feet. Not I, said the fly. The rate of change, in order to find the slope or rate of change in a table, you pick 2 points. And remember, we're going to use the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? Excuse me, y'all. The 2 points that I'm going to choose these 2 points right here, okay? You can choose any 2 points you want, but I'm just going to choose those. We got 0 and 242. And then I should have slid this over. Let's see if I can just put it in here. And then we got 1, 234. I did it. Okay. This is my first point, x1, y1. This is my second point, x2, y2. I said 1 and wrote 2. I am tripping on that. Please make that correction if you did what I did. So we use this formula. Remember, if I'm moving too fast for you, just tell me that I'm moving too fast for you and I'll try to slow it down, okay? I'm using this formula, M. On the top, y2 minus y1. Y2 is right here. It's 234 minus y1 is 242. Okay. X2 minus x1. X2 is 1 minus x1 is 0. Okay. We could use our calc to simplify the top. The bottom is easy. 1 minus 0 is just going to be 1. Okay. On the top, we're going to subtract 234. Cut my calculator on. 234 minus 242. And that gives us a negative 8. So that means that she is climbing down 8 feet per minute. How, Miss Reyes, do you know she's climbing down? Because there is a negative, this is a negative slope, and the numbers in the table are going down. The height is going down. Okay? So my rate of change here is negative 8. A negative 8 over 1 is just negative 8. So now let's write down our comparisons. Let's start with the initial value first. Polar, is at a higher feet. Okay, the rate of change is greater for Polar. Polar starting amount starting height is greater. Okay, she's up on that mountain further all up than Connor is. Now let's look at the rate that they're climbing down, though. The rate that they're coming down or climbing down, Connor is climbing down at a faster rate. See that? Negative 10. He's climbing down at a faster rate. So Connor is climbing down at a faster rate. He's going down 10 feet every minute, whereas Pilar is going down 8 feet per minute. So the rate of change for Connor is greater because he's going down faster. Questions, comments, or concerns? And I'll pause it here to give you a chance to write, okay? As soon as you finish, please submit this now, okay? Please submit this assignment now. Those of you that wrote it on paper, take your pictures, email it to yourself, and I'm going to pause and I'm going to answer my phone, okay? At this time, I want you to go to iReady, complete your iReady diagnostic test. Work on your already lessons, okay? Work on your already lessons. If you are done with all of the above, work on your Delta Math assignment. Work on your Delta Math assignment if you've done all of the above. You need something? You okay? Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video.